more can I say?
Top Billin. All right, y'all, what the hell has gotten into the Atlanta Falcons? These boys are operating like a legitimate franchise. Dare I say the Falcons have nailed the offseason? Ooh, man. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Atlanta's trade of Julio Jones. It came at the right time, and it makes me harken back to about, 2014 when I worked at Bleacher Report and I was presented, or me personally presented, the same scenario for Atlanta's fan base, talking about should the Falcons trade Roddy White. Roddy White at the time, going back and looking at the article, he was 32 years old, just like Julio Jones. He was starting to be injury prone. It was time to move on from Roddy White. If you could see the writing on the wall and you understood business and you understood that you don't pay people in arrears in sports, especially football, maybe in baseball, but not football, right? You're going to get to the point of diminishing returns. Julio Jones is that. Not saying that Julio Jones is done by any stretch of the imagination. He probably has another 2 good years left in him or whatever like that. But it's not up for a franchise like the Atlanta Falcons to find out. So that's a good thing right there. They needed to get rid of that money and be able to sign the draft picks and all that. However, they needed to just move on. Sometimes it's best that you move on from a certain situation and start developing your young guys. Just like I said in this particular article, it said something about the Julio Jones factor and how good I thought that he was going to eventually become. Same thing with Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is a damn animal. Now you combine that dude with the Kyle Pitts and some of the guys that you already have on the roster. It's a different way of operating. It's a different offensive structure. But, man, it's cold-blooded when you factor in 12 personnel. So Hayden Hurst, Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley, and, of course, that man under center, Matt Ryan. He fits that style of offense to a T. Very similar to a lot of the stuff that they did when Kyle Shanahan was there. Come on, if you're talking about being able to mitigate disaster or whatever people may think that you're losing a Hall of Fame receiver like Julio Jones, I don't think it'll be that bad. You're already 4-12 or whatever their record was. Could it get any worse than that? And if it does, you're setting your future quarterback up. There will be tons of quarterbacks coming. This wasn't the only draft that has quarterbacks. I can name a whole bunch of quarterbacks that I like in these subsequent drafts better than the guys who are in this particular draft. So I wouldn't sweat a quarterback. Your quarterback right now has several years left in him, especially in an offense like this where you be relying upon 2 tight end sets, heavy emphasis on the run game. Come on, Matt Ryan can't do that. But I don't want to spend much time on Matt Ryan because that's one of the reasons why I hate Atlanta's fan base and I don't do much Falcons content anymore. Just the absolute worst. Everything you do with the Falcons always comes back to the displeasure of Matt Ryan displayed by the fans. So he's the most underrated and underappreciated player probably in the NFL. But that's neither here nor there. Love the direction with Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith. Love that draft class. The drafting of Richie Grant was absolutely perfect. Who was it that said prior to 2 drafts ago that I didn't really like the Falcons safeties, and I spent all that time doing that safety content in preparation for the draft. And what do you know? 1 year later, both safety positions will have changed. Obviously, you drafted the Hawkins kid last year, and now you have Richie Grant. There's your free and your strong safeties. Now you have a youth movement on defense, and they did a good job of concentrating on the defense anyway. So for the Falcons to play some good football, going to have to improve on the defensive end. And people are going to have to recognize that offense isn't everything. You have to be able to play some semblance of defense, man. Matt Ryan don't play on the defensive side of the ball. Stop blaming him for every damn thing, you know? Also love the addition of Jalen Mayfield, right tackle from Michigan. He actually kept a kid that I had a prior relationship with off the field at right tackle. So I'm very familiar with him, and this kid can absolutely go. He could power a right-handed run game and demolish you and mash your potatoes, pause. Definitely one of those guys that would fit like you would have saw that they wanted in an Isaiah Wilson when they were the Tennessee Titans. Big old right tackle like that, anchor that run game. Run game is going to be the emphasis of this particular offense. Why not find personnel that suits that? I would actually like to see him being put at right tackle and slide everyone over a spot. Meaning you take the McGarry kid, slide him to guard, and so on and so forth, just to get the 5 best guys out there. Mayfield definitely needs to be out there. I could also see him playing the guard position. It just depends on exactly what they're trying to do. But him at a right tackle spot, that would be hard for sure. I also like Frank Darby. I know Darby from the quarterback that I alluded to earlier, Jaden Daniels from Arizona State. He did a great job in Jaden Daniels' freshman season last year. I'm not sure what happened to Frank Darby. I'm not sure if he got injured or something like that, but he's one of those guys that you just see him on tape getting separation like time after time again. Pretty decent route runner, really good hands, but just able to be a gamer and get separation. I'm not sure what he runs or anything like that, but he's just one of those guys, man, who can be a very solid number 2, number 3 receiver to a Russell Gage. So Falcons have some talent still. I just love the direction of the program, and I think they finally have some adults in the building making decisions, and they're not going by fans, and I don't know. I'm not sure what the hell the previous regime was doing. So not to totally poo-poo on what they did. Obviously, they got the Falcons to a Super Bowl, and got to give them credit for that. But I think the consistency had been lost with that previous regime. A little bit more consistent under Mike Smith and those guys, and looked like it could be headed back towards that direction. But we'll see how it unfolds here over the next several seasons. It should be good, but at the very least, man, they have a good foundation. I can say that for sure. So with that being said, let me know what you think about the direction of the Falcons, man. And it's your boy Murph, the Underground King. Thank you for watching Top Billin Sports, and I am out. Peace.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.